All right, live just started. Today, guys, we're gonna have a special guest. He's a professional indoor soccer player. So far, I think mostly just college soccer players. And last week we had Heath Martin. He's an MLS Academy player. Today we got our first fully professional player on here. Plays in the MASL for the Florida Tropics. His name is Robert Acosta. He'll be joining me in just a second. Thanks, guys, for joining. We'll get into it in just a second. And by the way, if you have any questions, leave them down in the chat. Try to answer as we go through the interview. All right. You know how to join the live? All right, there we go. Oh. All right, he's joining right now. Hey, how's it going?
What's up, man? Happy Sunday.
Yeah, happy late 4th of July.
Yeah, man. Did you do anything fun to celebrate?
Not really, just stayed home, had some hot dogs. How about you?
Nice. Yeah, I was over at my sister's house, and she's got 5-year-old triplets. So we watched the whatever fireworks were on the news, and then we actually watched Hamlet after that. Um, Dude, the hype around that musical is real, dude.
Yeah, I watched it on Friday night. It was really good, actually.
Super entertaining, man. I wasn't expecting. I'm not generally a musical fan, but I love music, and
Mm.
that was super entertaining.
Yeah, they like explained it in a way like you could understand. It wasn't just boring to learn the history. It was really cool.
Right, right.
So, for those of you that don't know, this is Robert Acosta. He's a professional indoor soccer player. And today we're just going to be talking about mostly like his experiences playing professionally indoor. How much time do you have to talk right now?
As much as you need, man. I got an hour opened up.
Okay. Well, the most we can do on this, anyways, is an hour, so that's great. So, if you could just give us an introduction of yourself, name, age, position, the team and league you play in, and that'd be a good place to start.
Cool, sounds good, man. Yeah, my name's Rob Acosta. I play defender, and let's see, been playing professionally for 7 years now. I'm originally from Tucson, Arizona, but ever since I left, I've played in Rochester, New York, Virginia Beach, Iowa, Chicago, St. Louis, and now I was over in Sweden for a few months, but now I am playing for the Florida Tropics in the Major Arena Soccer League. So I've been with them. Last year was my first year with them. We had a super talented squad and really successful season. They got cut short because of COVID, but I'll head back there. They're talking the next couple months for preseason. We're not exactly sure. We haven't gotten the green light quite when we're getting called back and when everything's going to start up, but they said at least anticipate soon. So, yeah, man, when they call us back for that, I'll head out there. I got one more year on my contract, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think because I noticed like on the location your post is like Arizona and stuff. So you're originally from Tucson. So what high school did you go to and what club did you play for?
Down in Tucson, I grew up playing for the Tucson Soccer Academy. They're not even a club anymore. Now I guess FC Tucson ate them up, and so they're the parent club now. And I went to University High School, which also plays with Rincon, so it's Rincon and UHS. So I was on that side of things, and then yeah, now I'm currently back in Arizona. My family lives in the Gilbert area. So I came back. There's some family stuff going on, so I came back to kind of help out with that and just be around during all this craziness.
Okay. Yeah, I'm from Surprise. That's where I'm at right now. But I go to school in Texas. So.
Okay, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm in Gilbert right now, so we're both feeling this heat, man.
Yeah.
I love Arizona, man, but I always forget how much of a freaking oven it is during this time of year, man.
Yeah, I got to get up so early to go train or really late.
Yeah, I started this new thing, man. I'm especially since gyms closed down last week. I'm gonna start doing distance runs during the heat of the day. Just because I've never really done distance runs, but then during the heat of the day, I just figure like sometimes I just like doing hard shit to kind of level up and just test my mental fortitude. So we'll see how long that lasts, man. I'll get in
Yeah.
next week. I'm headed to Denver tomorrow. I'll be in Denver for a week filming a bunch of content for my brand, but I'll be back the week after that. And I don't know, I don't know how it's gonna be once it's like 115 degrees outside. But shit, man, we'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah, as long as you're hydrated. I mean, but yeah, it'll be rough going to Denver all nice and cool and then come back here right back into the heat.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that the altitude isn't too because I'll do some training up there. Have you been to Denver before?
Yeah, we had a game there actually my season in the fall at Johnson and Wales, and it was super windy. I actually didn't feel it too much. I think I kind of got acclimated quick, but oof.
Oh no. The altitude rips me up, man. Every time I go back to like whether I'm training or playing, dude, the first few times is like a shot to the stomach, you know?
Yeah, we had our first game that weekend in Colorado Springs, and it was all game long. Just
Yep. That's how it is, man.
yeah, like
But
it's like 1,200 feet down here, and up there it's like almost 6,000. So that's yeah,
no joke, man. If you can train there long term, it'll turn you into an animal. But if you're going just for like a game or a training session, it's gonna eat you up.
yeah. Like Mexico City, I think a lot of people go down there to the train too. That's like 7,000 plus feet and
Yeah.
get in shape quick.
Yeah, dude. It'll toughen you up.
Yeah. So also I wanted to ask, just you kind of talked about it a little bit, but your story so far, I guess, kind of starting with high school in a fairly brief summary, like, the club you played for. I mean, you already went into that a little bit, and then did you play in college, and then how'd you start get into the pro game, and how'd you end up where you are now, basically?
Cool. Yeah, man. So the Cliff Notes version of it, it's been a crazy ride, man. But
Yeah.
the short story is yeah, grew up in Tucson, played for the Tucson Soccer Academy and for University High School. When I left Tucson, I went to Wartburg College, which was a Division III college in small town Iowa. So I played in Waverly, Iowa for my 4 seasons. And then once I graduated, I moved back to Arizona for about a month. And that was before Phoenix Rising and FC
Hmm.
Tucson. There was a whole lot of organized soccer. So my move was I was dating a girl at the time, and she was looking to go to college in Virginia. And so I said, hey, I'll just go with you and make the move. And there's some PDL teams in the area, the Professional Development League. There's a few teams in that area. So went out there and got picked up by one team. Played there for a season. That was in Williamsburg, Virginia. Played there for one summer, and then next summer I jumped to the team in Virginia Beach. I played for the PDL team in Virginia Beach for, let's see, 3 seasons, and then after that, so the team name was the Piranhas. The owners from that team, they bought a team in the MASL, or it was the MISL, but in the indoor league. So they took me and they took a couple of the other guys, and they signed us. So then I went from there to Rochester, New York. And then I went from there to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I played in Cedar Rapids for a couple of years. And then I went to Sweden for a summer for some outdoor soccer. I've been trying to get into outdoor, man.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, indoor has just kind of been the doors that opened up. So, but I did go to Sweden, played out there, or Denmark for a month, and then Sweden for 3 months. And then came back here, played in St. Louis for 2 seasons. And then after St. Louis, that's when I went to Florida, and that was last season. So yeah, man, all over the map. 14 cities in 10 years.
Jeez. So that's really cool because I actually played a D3 college too. And so what year did you graduate from college and start pursuing this?
2010.
So
2009,
about 10
2010.
years.
Yep.
And in Rochester, And Rochester, did you play for the Rochester Lancers? Is that the team you played for?
Yeah, the Lancers. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I,
that was
oh, my bad. Go ahead.
that was a great experience, man. Rochester was one of the coolest places I've played, and that was their owner there is a huge soccer fanatic, man. I love that guy. And I was real blessed with them because I had originally gone to preseason with them, and I got injured. I faced a real bad injury and was out for 2 years actually. And then once I came back from that injury, the owner from Rochester was still super cool dude. He was like, all right, come out to preseason, and if you're sharp, we'll give you a shot. So luckily, man, I was able to sign back up there. But yeah, man, Rochester Lancers.
Yeah, because I saw the first time, obviously, like in the back of my mind, I assumed like there's probably a professional indoor soccer league, and through YouTube, I found, well, actually, one of the pictures you sent me, you're like going up for a header against some Michael Lewis Cunningham, 7 MLC.
Yep.
And I saw a couple of years ago was when he started playing for the Rochester Lancers, and that's when I was like looking into all these teams in the league and stuff, and they were in the second division, right, until this year. They just moved up.
Yeah, so they were in the first division. They were like top of the table for a while, and then they folded for a couple seasons. They had to deal with some financial issues from the government and a whole bunch of bullshit. So they folded for 2 years. They were out, and then they came back, and they were in the second division for 1 year. And then this past year, they came back in the first division. But yeah, dude, Cunny, man, I've known that dude since 2014, 2015. Dude's a baller, man. I don't know how he hasn't made it out of the MASL, dude. That dude's sick.
He's got some crazy skill. Watching his videos and stuff, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So where'd you meet him in 2014, 15?
We were in Rochester. He was
Oh,
playing. Yeah, so he wasn't playing for the Lancers back then. But during the summer I stayed for the summer. I was going to try to get with the Rhinos, which is the USL team there. There's a lot of bad blood between the programs, so the door never opened up. But I played for another team in the area at the time. It was like a competitive men's essentially, and he was on that team, so we met that way.
oh, that's really cool. Yeah, and he's from England too, so that's really
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Um,
man, really nice guy.
so and then also I was wondering about when you played in Sweden and Denmark. Did you just go over there? You said during the summer, right? So that would be in the middle of their season in Sweden.
Yep,
Okay. And
yep.
did you just? My bad.
No, you're good, man. I
So
didn't mean
did
to
you?
cut you off.
So did you just try to train with them? Did you get in and play some games? How did that work over there? And like what division and what teams were you playing with?
Sure. So the way it worked out was there's an agency out of Chicago. So one of the guys that I met in Iowa, he put me in touch with this agency. It's called Bridges FC. Honestly, any of you young players, like if you're looking for an opportunity, any of these guys that are watching, man, look up Bridges, and it's run by a guy who used to play in the indoor leagues, and then he coached at various USL levels, and he coached the women's national. He was like one of the assistant coaches for the national team for a little bit. His name's Brett Hall. And yeah, what they do is they bring in players, and anyone can come. The agency always runs training sessions at 11 a.m. in Chicago at this one fucking beat down indoor facility. But dude, they get some crazy quality players. So they bring everybody in. You can train as much as you want, and then right around February, March, they start forming a team that they're going to take to Denmark and Sweden. And so they make the team. The last few weeks before you leave, you're training 2 days, in Chicago, and So anyway, so we left there, and they take us to Denmark, and they have set up we played against two Danish Premier League teams, three first division, three second division, and then a third division team. And we set up matches against them, and it's a showcase for us. So starting after the third game, they started calling guys to different programs and different clubs. And so, yeah, man, I got called by a club in Sweden, and so I went over to Sweden. They were in the third Swedish division, and yeah, man, it was a great experience, man. Like being being a true foreigner, because man, in Sweden, like not many people speaking English. You know, like it's it's a challenge, man. And the soccer is different, dude. Soccer overseas is even the least athletic guys are sick because they
Yeah.
know the game and they've been watching for so long. And they see it. So, man, training sessions were fucking awesome. Just the culture of soccer there was awesome. So yeah, I played there for I came in we got there during their summer break or whatever during their break time, and then me and whatever other guys got picked up. We got picked up for the second half of their season. So it was cool, man. Really, really fun.
Yeah,
We
that's
we almost got promoted too, man. We were only 2 games away from getting promoted.
cool. So with the team you said they put together, was it a lot of like college players, former college players, semi-pro, like kind of in between trying to make it?
Exactly right. Yeah, man. There was a few college guys that we knew weren't going to get signed, but they're ballers, man. And so Brett wanted to take them over just to get them experience, and then he took them back over the next summer and got them signed. But then, yeah, there was a bunch of guys between like the ages of like 22 and 26, and it was just yeah, just got guys just trying to make it, man, because that was one of their big things is they know. I mean, we all know the politics involved in playing in the next level,
Yeah.
especially mostly here in the States, just because of the limited accessibility and limited, teams and stuff. But fuck, man, overseas they got so many teams and so many divisions, so many leagues that like it's an easy way for because a lot of times a USL coach, when you're told no, they tell you no because they want you to have some professional experience. So it's
Mhm.
easy. It's an easier way for Americans to go and get that professional contract and have some professional experience.
Yeah, it seems like almost everyone, like I've heard about their stories playing in America professionally. It's like, oh, I went over to this country for a year, for a season, at least like 1 year. They've been some other country abroad. It could be the
Yeah,
tiniest little country. It could be England, Germany. It's really, really interesting how that works.
right.
Um, but you said the majority of your teams and opportunities have been in the indoor soccer, MASL, MISL.
Yeah, yep. It was the MISL when I first signed into it, but then since then they changed it to the MASL. And man, honestly, it was the first couple of years. It was a lot of like knocking on doors and trying to figure out my way into the league. But now, man, once you get in, then all of a sudden, like once you're in one place, teams are so fluid that your teammates are playing in other teams the next season, and so if something goes wrong with your contract, you can always go to a different, if you know the right people, you can go to to a different team. So yeah, man, pretty much all my opportunities have come through like different guys that I played with, or Florida was actually a really cool opportunity because that was like the head coach saw what I was doing in St. Louis and reached out and brought me over from there. So
So
yeah, man, indoors a beast, man. I don't know how many people on here watch indoor soccer, but fuck, man, it's a completely different game than outdoor.
yeah, that was one of the things I was getting into, because it is so different. I think in America, um, it is different too. Like I guess we have our own brand sort of because at least I haven't heard of indoor soccer in other countries other than like futsal. So it's like, but in here you can
Yeah,
kick it off the wall. The goal is different. There's a goalie. Well, they have goalies in futsal too, but and then like the substitutions and all that stuff. So could you go into a little bit the differences? Obviously, the play style, it's different. Some of the rules between that and outdoor soccer.
yeah, man. Yeah, it's cool, man. So it's 5v5 plus a keeper. And the cool thing is that they try to like you got the walls, so I'm sure a lot of players internationally know futsal. Futsal's a really big game developmentally. I'm actually surprised it hasn't taken off here more in the States,
Mm-hmm.
but I know a lot of the indoor guys are starting their own youth futsal academies and clubs. Like in St. Louis, they got a couple that are growing. Cedar Rapids is growing a couple, so we'll see that soon. But yeah, man, biggest difference is man, between not only like the field size and all that, but there's different penalties. So in indoor, if you get a blue card, you got to go sit in the penalty box for 2 minutes, and your team has to play down a man for 2 minutes. And then yellow cards put you in the penalty box for 5 minutes, and there's different ways to create 5v4s, or man, there's been 5v3s. I even defended a 5v2 before. Um, But yeah, man, it's a lot more physical. They let it's fun as a defender because I mean, even an outdoor gets pretty physical, but an indoor, man, there's a lot of contact, there's a lot of bumping, there's a lot of bouncing into the walls and the boards, which is it gets the adrenaline pumping and fun.
Yeah.
Um, and then, man, technically it's a different game. There's a lot more, an outdoor you rarely use the sole of your foot. And an indoor, that was one of my biggest things. It took me a while to get, but indoor you primarily use the sole of your foot to control the ball and to put you into different spaces. So it's a little bit different technically. And then, man, another big difference, the substitutions. So you sub on the fly. And if you played indoor, it's a little bit like normally when people play indoor, they're out there running around for like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes on a shift. Nah, man, in the first division or in this division, if you're on longer than a minute to a minute and a half, you're getting screamed at. So you're just expected to be able to get on, sprint up, sprint back, sprint off, sprint up, sprint back, sprint off, sprint back, sprint up. So it's like, and so now you got to not only like be mindful of you got to be mindful of the clock because it's like, all right, how long have I been on? I don't want to be on too long, but you don't want to sub when the other team has the ball. You only want to sub when you have the ball. So there's a lot of different nuances that you have to start to read and understand. And but yeah, man, it's high. Yeah, a lot more scoring, real high action, a lot of goals per game. I tell people all the time, man, I think that indoor soccer is soccer for Americans. It used to be a huge, huge league back in the 80s and 90s. And then when the MASL or when the MLS came in, a majority of the owners from indoor went to MLS, and the ownership group that took over, man, they haven't quite found the right combination since then to really be able to build it and market it how it should be. But yeah, man, just because of the high scoring and the physical nature and the similarities to hockey, I feel like a lot of Americans would prefer to watch indoor soccer than outdoor soccer, which breaks my heart as a true soccer fan because I just want everyone to love outdoor soccer.
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, that is really interesting because it's like it's still soccer, but they're two totally different brands and styles. And yeah, like you said, I actually remember when I was watching The Last Dance about Michael Jordan, the Bulls, they were saying that the indoor soccer team in Chicago was bringing in more fans regularly than the Bulls were before Jordan got there. And it's like,
yeah, dude, yeah, yep. And dude, the guy I was telling you about that runs the agency, Brett Hall, he played for that Chicago team, the one that they were talking about.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
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 And I think, like you said, we want everyone to love outdoor soccer, but if we got to bait them in with indoor soccer first,
that's what I'm saying. Yep.
Never works. But yeah, it does seem very exciting and interesting. I think most people probably go for that outdoor first just because that's what you naturally grow up playing. But, there can be so many opportunities and the MASL too, like a lot of people will probably just look over it or not even think about going to play indoor soccer, and you could be missing a lot of opportunities to just gloss it over, whatever.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And it's funny because so many people still don't know, man. Like from Tucson, I didn't know about indoor soccer until I lived in Virginia. I mean, we played for fun sometimes at this tiny facility that they didn't have turf or anything like that. And so I kind of knew what it was, but I had no idea that it was an organized sport and that it used to be the biggest league here in the States. So yeah, man, I'd encourage young players to check it out. Plus it's like, dude, it's really good for development, man. Like one of the best things it did for me is it made me tighten up technically because I've always been a big brute defender. So my strength has been size and speed. But once you put me on a smaller surface with like tighter spaces, man, it just makes you a lot. Either you sink or swim, man. So you either get a lot better or you're out of the league,
Yeah.
So my development, man, if I wish that I could have played futsal or indoor more organized from a young age because having that added pressure in those tight spaces makes you think a lot more.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because when I was playing club in like 5th or 6th grade, and there's a lot of like indoor soccer facilities a lot over the place, and they'll have like adult leagues or whatever. At least here in Arizona, there's a few that I've played at, just like my friends will rent it out or whatever. and then like, oh, there's different rules about this and that, but you don't really think about there's a whole league or any of that. And I was just thinking before I had this interview, like back in like 5th or 6th grade when I was playing club, we actually played at halftime. I don't know if it was MASL, MISL, but one of the teams in Phoenix, like at one of their games, we went and played at halftime. And then also one of my teammates, he's from Amarillo, and they don't have any like professional teams at all except for an indoor professional team. So it's like, that's another thing pretty interesting. In Rochester, I don't think they have a whole lot of other professional teams either, but that could be your opportunity if you want something local. There might be an indoor team there.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been anything more organized here in Arizona. A few years ago, the team owner have you heard of Arizona Impact?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess they were in the MASL2 or one of the development leagues, and man, he was talking a couple of years ago that they had some interest in bringing it to the MASL1 and moving it to the first division. So I still have hope that we'll bring professional indoor soccer to Arizona, man. So, but it's like you said, man, it's hard because there's already so many established professional sports in the area that markets like like where I play, markets like Rochester, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, St. Louis to an extent, like there's a good opportunity for soccer to get in there since there's no other major brands already.
Yeah. I think in Arizona, it's kind of frustrating because Phoenix Rising, like we just destroyed the USL last year, but there's no promotion relegation. And we have the plans for a stadium and all this, but the MLS is a lot of politics and money. And it's like in Arizona, I can really see the potential if you just put in, a couple more professional soccer teams, UPSL, USL2, there'd be tons of people going to play, and we barely even have college teams here for soccer, but there's so many people playing club in high school. Like, I think it would be like a really smart business decision. But then again, I don't know the demographics and all that. That's just what I see.
What do we know, right? We're just a couple of guys that love soccer, but it makes sense, man. And honestly, man, like between like Tucson especially has been unique to watch. Tucson especially has been unique to watch because they had nothing, and now they run the Desert Diamond Cup, which is a preseason tournament for all the MLS teams, and the MLS players love going down to Tucson, and like it's a perfect weather. It's like their spring training essentially.
Yeah.
So they've put in brand new facilities down there, not only fields, but like, man, the PDL team, the facilities they have access to and they built down there are fucking incredible, man. They're almost like MLS facilities because they've got like actual weight rooms, training rooms, the locker rooms with laundry rooms, like stuff you don't normally see for a PDL team. I guess now they're USL2, but for the first or USL1.
Yeah.
But for the first few years, man, they were just PDL, and they were able to get some nice stuff down there.
Yeah. I mean, I think the USL Championship, well, also the USL in general too, I think they're doing a good job though because they're trying to cover the cities that the MLS hasn't covered or that still have a lot of, like Colorado Springs, Phoenix, Tucson. I mean, they have so many teams in all the USL divisions too. So I think for that league, it's been good how they're marketing it. But then some of these teams also are probably deserving to get into the MLS or deserving to have an indoor professional team, but just don't know what will happen.
We're getting there, baby. We're getting there. Soccer's still growing here. It's the fastest growing sport, so we'll get there. We're taking over slowly but surely.
Yeah, for sure. And something else we talked about a little bit, but with the MASL season, when is the season? What is the off season like? Is there like an off season, for like outdoor in Europe and stuff in the summer? They'll play like their tournaments and friendlies or exhibitions. Do you have things like that for your league and your team as well?
Yeah, so indoor we run, generally, I mean, everything's different right now, but generally we start preseason in October. The first couple season matches will be middle and end of November, and then we'll run all the way through middle of March. And then, yeah, man, that's the only unfortunate thing about indoors. There's literally nothing during the off season. A lot of the guys try to stay local with like in Florida, they have a UPSL team. that was actually they won the UPSL last year because a lot of the indoor guys just ended up staying and playing outdoor for the summer. So I know a lot. That's what most of the indoor guys rely on is team, UPSL and other leagues.
Hmm.
A lot of us hope to be able to bounce back and forth between indoor and USL, but because of so much of an overlap in the seasons, I don't know. Most players that like start to do it, they end up just deciding to either play in one league or the other. Um, so yeah, man, I know the league has talked about doing like a off-season summer tournament before, but we haven't had anything quite yet.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't happen this year of all years either. But
Yeah, right.
so in the off season, it's kind of just up to you to find a team to train with or do it on your own and stay in shape and all that.
Yep. Yep.
I've seen watching 7MLC too. Are there like you said, there was kind of an affiliate UPSL team because I saw one of his videos. He was playing outdoor and it said like Rochester had the same logo. Do they have some affiliate like UPSL or outdoor teams as well?
They do. Yep. I think, let's see here. Most of the teams have at this point a UPSL team. Because I know Rochester, I'm pretty sure is UPSL. Oh no, St. Louis does. I guess probably about half the teams have
Mm-hmm.
some sort of affiliate UPSL team.
And if not, it shouldn't be too hard for you to find one and train with them and get into that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. Like so far back here in Arizona, I mean, just being out training at parks, I had a coach come up to me of one of the I don't remember which one of the UPSL teams, but it's like, hey, come out and play for us. We'll see.
Yeah, it's been hard to um, I'm like just googling, looking up teams here too, because I've heard of Sporting AZ, but then even their website was kind of tricky to find and find emails. And then literally back at school, an hour from San Antonio, in San Antonio, they have like three UPSL teams and a USL team, and it's funny how concentrated some parts of America are with all these teams and opportunities, and other parts it's like nothing, or you really got to look and it's scattered and
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's tough. One of the things that they told us in through my experience with the agency and then a couple other experiences I've had is like the hard part here is that we don't have like we're not a feeder system for anyone, right? Like a lot of the MLS teams have youth clubs and academies at this point, and that still hasn't even been. I mean, I don't know. Is Phoenix Rising developing a youth academy here? I don't really know.
um, they're going to be part of the new MLS Academy League because the DA fell out. So
Okay.
that should mean I think they were playing the ECNL, which is still pretty organized. But I know when I graduated a year ago, like a couple of my friends were playing with a team that was called Phoenix Rising, but they weren't really like academy and they weren't that good either. So I think hopefully they're getting to that, like, and they're going to be in the league. They're one of the few USL teams that will be in the MLS Academy League. So hopefully that's a good sign. We'll see.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome.
Um, so then also with like the season, was it? Well, I think I saw it got cut short. How is that? How's this pandemic affected the MASL and then your personal training and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's been brutal, man. We literally like when everything started happening with COVID, we got called into a meeting in the office and told that the league decided to suspend everything indefinitely and everything was going to shut down. And most of us rely on coaching or some level of training as supplemental income.
Mm-hmm.
And so for like a lot of us, it was like, especially, especially like some of the foreign players, like we have a bunch of Brazilians on this team. And so they have visas. And so the only way that they can make money is through the tropics. So when the tropics aren't playing and we're not able to do coaching or any events like that, it's a challenge. So that's why over the last couple of years, I've had some good mentoring and some good people, good advice from older people, especially Soccer Sam out in Rochester, New York. But they all kind of told me to start doing my own thing and building my own thing. So a couple of years ago, I started my Instagram account about 4 years ago at this point. I started my Instagram account, and then over the last couple of years, I've just kind of been studying other, fitness avenues and fitness accounts, and trying to figure out how I can grow my specific brands to supplement soccer. But so yeah, man, COVID kind of, I've generally over the last couple of years, it's been a lot of in-person small training, either individual training or small group sessions, but man, couldn't do that for like 2 months there. Um, so it's been good in that it's forced me. I've been building a mobile application over the last couple of years. Well, I got a guy that's building it, and then I'm producing all the content for it. And so it's given me an opportunity to just, man, balls to the wall, just put together videos and workouts and just really have everything organized for that. Because now, especially moving into the new like youth seasons, I want to have a tool for clubs to be able to have for their kids. Because I know like most of the clubs that I've coached at used to have technical sessions twice a week starting this time of year. Well, they can't be doing technical sessions as a club right now. So I have, in my app, I've built in ball skill programs and conditioning programs and core strengthening programs and all this, things that can go to clubs and say, hey, if you guys can't meet together as a club, at least do this workout. It's got leaderboards so that all your kids can see like which kids are working out, which ones aren't. And that way there's at least that tool and that resource for their players while, all these young players have to deal with this pandemic.
Yeah, that'd be really useful because a lot of players, even like some college players, are just like, I don't know what to do. I don't have team training. I don't have coach showing. And it's like that can just be really helpful. You just show them, here's a bunch of exercises. All you need is a ball on the wall or a few yards, or you don't need any weights or anything. You just need your bedroom, and that'd be really helpful. And that's going to help a lot of people get ahead. Hopefully the situation gets better soon, but for people that have been, they're going to be a lot far ahead than other people that just didn't know what to do or weren't doing anything.
Right. Yeah, man. It's like a lot of players know what to do, but they don't really know the structure behind any of it. And a lot of times we just get paralysis by analysis, man. Like a lot of players, even me to an extent, man. If I didn't have like my programs written out for a little while, like for a couple of years there, it's hard to like show up and be like, all right, what do I do? What did I do yesterday? What should I do today? Like, so I get that, man. So yeah, I just hopefully it'll be helpful to some kids.
Yeah, that's a good point because it feels like whenever you train, you don't really think ahead of time what you're going to do or workouts, and then it's just like bad from the start, and that just little bit of planning or someone showing you, here's my program or here's some exercises that can really help a lot. And that was the next thing I kind of want to get into, because I've seen like your brands, like Walk the Talk with the t-shirts, and then the Keep Grinding one. So what is your purpose and vision for those ones as well?
Yeah, man. So Acosta Fitness has been the brand that I've been building the last couple of years. It's initially I wanted it to be a brand for everyone, but over the last couple of years, it's like, well, my niche is soccer and my niche is speed and agility and upper level mentality, thinking and, proper nutrition, supplementation, like all that stuff. Stuff that really only caters to upper level athletes or people that are seeking to be upper level athletes. So that's my vision for Acosta Fitness, is to be able to continue in that direction and cater to that group. But my passion for fitness is soccer mom Susie and the average Joe and the average Jane, and people that just want to live a healthier life. So I feel like, an Acosta Fitness isn't really appealing to that. So I want to create a brand that's more relevant to all walks of fitness, lifestyle, business, motivation, relational, all that. And so over the last couple of years, it started off as Grind and Fitness, and then it kind of went into different phases as I've kind of figured everything out. And now the point it's at now is Kegri, Kegri, short for Keep Grinding. And the reason for that is just because, everywhere you go, man, weight room, soccer field, business, listening to motivational speakers, like keep grinding is the common phrase, man. It's a common thread. People know that, it creates this emotional response because of the way that, we understand it right now. So I'm building a brand that's more centered on that. So currently, Walk the Talk, or Acosta Fitness houses Walk the Talk and what I'm doing there. But actually, as I go to Denver over the next couple of days, And then July 25th, we'll be actually officially launching Key Grind. We've got a website. I've been building a YouTube channel for it. The mobile application will be ready, all this stuff. So yeah, man. And the cool thing is that Key Grind can, it's relevant to all those levels of fitness, but it's also really, really relevant and specific to my brand, to Acosta Fitness as well, because what I hope to do through Walk the Talk and Keep Grinding is kind of explain the cycle of success for soccer players, and for at least what I've found in my business, the different businesses I've been involved in. And there's 3 levels to it, right? So you and whoever's watching is going to get like the sneak peek, man. So Walk the Talk is level 1, right? Like, you're not really grinding until you're actually doing what you say you're going to do. Like, a lot of people, there's a disconnect in that first step, because people know what to do and they say what they're going to do, but they don't do it. So you start by walking the talk, man. Start by doing what you say you're going to do. Once you've got that down, then it just takes time. So that's when you're in the keep grinding phase. So at that point, you just got to keep to your habits, keep to your discipline, keep training, keep the right mentality, keep sleep, whatever. So walk the talk, and then you just got to keep grinding. And then is the payoff phase. And so the payoff phase that we're going to brand is called work hardest, play harder. Work hardest, play harder. And it's just the notion that when you're the hardest working person, then, the old work hard, play hard, like, who wants to like play, like, we want to play hardest, we want to be the hardest players, and we want to be the hardest workers. So it's just the idea that once you're the hardest working person, you can play even harder than that, and have success. And so that's been my experience in indoor soccer, like I said. And especially like that final component was like what I was experiencing this year in Florida, because it was like we were like me and the guys like that were there, man, we were the hardest working players throughout the league over the last couple of years. And now we were just getting to, continue working hard and put in the work, but play hard too, man. We spent Christmas on the beach this year. Like, in the middle of December, it was 70 degrees outside, and we're playing foot volley at the beach. Like, it's like, so my brand is just going to be, this cycle of success for young players, entrepreneurs, business owners. Prior to soccer and fitness, I worked in the pizza business, and that was, dude, those were like the principles to my success there as well. So I feel like that's just kind of the cycle that resonates, no matter what phase you're at in life. So I want to give people the tools to just hone in on what they're, why they're doing it, and then just the motivation to continue doing it.
Yeah, that's so key, and something I'm realizing. I'm trying to build like my own brand gradually, obviously in college, certain rules, making money off your own name, stuff like that, all that. So it's annoying, but those are some really good points I'm realizing, trying to build my YouTube channel, social media, same thing with soccer. There's times where it feels like I'm not going anywhere. What's the point? And then, if you just keep pushing, being consistent, doing your best work, then all of a sudden you might get a little break or a little inspiration, or realizing, okay, I am going somewhere. It just feels like I'm not. And even if I'm making a little bit, I'm learning something. And that is like, people sell books, tell you this, tell you that, and it always, like you said, it comes down to those like key principles: walk the talk, keep grinding, however you want to phrase it. Just keep pushing, and then, like you said, also enjoy yourself too. If you really are working that hard, have some fun doing it.
Yeah, man, and dude, you're right. It's hard. Like, a lot of times, and I felt like this like multiple times over the last few years, that you just get in these situations where it's like you are grinding, you feel like you're spinning your wheels. And I feel like I read a motivational thing a few years ago that was your what is it? Your breakthrough. Shoot, it's like something along the lines of, when you think that you're like, when you're about to give up, go a little bit farther, and that's when you're going to make it. And that's been like super true. And like, it's like growing my Instagram has been my business, and Instagram has been like the biggest identifier of that for me, because dude, there's some times where it's like I started putting out content. Nobody was following, no one was liking. I was doing like 2 videos a day for like a year and a half, and like was getting only a little bit of traction. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I got a huge spike, and I was like, all right, cool. And you get re-excited, rejuvenated, whatever. And then for another 5, 6 months, there's like nothing. No one's engaging, no one's following, no one's doing anything. It's like, why am I even doing this? And then all of a sudden you'll get another big bump. And it's like,
Hmm.
you're right, man. It just comes down to sometimes you just got to have the discipline, and you just got to be taking daily steps, and trust the process. And just what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's definitely true with, like you said, posting stuff and then you're just like, what's the point? I'm getting the same amount of likes every post, or I haven't gained any followers. All of a sudden, one just random thing, but you just decide I'm just going to keep posting every day. And then all of a sudden, you never know what might be your lucky break, or, you just use a certain hashtag. All of a sudden, you get way more likes or followers, or you reach out to someone else doing what you do, and, they give you a shout out or something. And then all of a sudden, that might be what gets you going. And it's different in soccer and other ways of life. You don't really seem to get those lucky breaks out of nowhere. All of a sudden, everyone's watching you, but still just keep pushing. You never know who you might know that can get you into a club or give you a chance. And if you leave a good impression on anyone, your chances just increase by so much. Whether you're building a brand, working a regular job, playing soccer, working out, whatever it is.
Yeah, man.
So with that, what are your goals and plans for the future as far as soccer wise, and then like you said, brand and business wise? Do you want to keep playing in the MASL? Do you want to go back out to outdoor soccer? And then fitness wise, like also what are some of your goals and plans?
Yeah. So soccer wise, dude, I've said it. I'll say it until I hang my boots up, man. If I ever get an opportunity to play outdoor at a high level, I'm taking it. I would love to get in the USL. When I got here to Phoenix, I started reaching out to anyone that I could find with a Phoenix Rising email address or Instagram handle or anything, and just sent messages out. So if anything opens up, or the right person sees it and says yes, come out, then I'm going. I'm taking advantage of that opportunity. But in the meantime, I'll continue. The MASL has been a great opportunity for me and a great door. I'm not only to continue playing soccer, but to grow my own brand and to have an influence in the community. And so I plan to continue on to MASL as long as I can. There's guys that play in the league until early 40s. So it gives me about another 10 years or so. So it's funny, man. As from an outdoor perspective, the teams aren't really looking for guys over 30. But for indoor, it's like, all right, that's an experienced player. If he's made it this long, he's worth a shit.
Yeah.
So I just want to ride out, kind of the opportunities that I get there, and then in the meantime, just continue to grow my brands. Big picture, I'd like to grow Acosta Fitness to 1 million followers. I'd like to grow Key Gride to the biggest fitness and lifestyle brand in the world. And then I have other personal aspirations in the fitness world, like the company that I'm always posting about, First Form. I'd like to be a sponsored athlete for them, and then become a sponsored athlete for other companies like Nike, or I don't know, some of these other big boys. So yeah, man. And then post soccer, I've kind of thought about it. I'll probably end up in some other fitness realm, whether it's like the fucking, what is it, the Ninja Warriors, or I don't know, maybe I'll get into bodybuilding at some point then. But just something where I can continue to be a positive influence to others, and continue to grow my brand.
Is soccer fitness coaching something you're also interested in doing afterwards?
Yeah, man, I'd love to, if I could get brought on by a team or by a set of players or whatever, and just kind of be their speed, strength, agility specialist, or whatever it is. I would absolutely love that opportunity.
Yeah, that's something I want to do after my playing career is over too. Get a lot of impact that way.
Mm-hmm.
So then just kind of the final question. What is your tips and advice? We kind of talked about this a little bit already, just going through it. But what is some of your best tips and advice for players that want to play professionally, semi-pro, specifically indoor soccer, and also with the brand building and, just all that?
Yeah. So my biggest advice to young players, there's two things just to focus on the game, man. Like one is get on a ball more. Like it doesn't matter how much time you spend on a ball, it's not enough. I can tell you that it's not enough. You know, they say you're not a professional until you spend 10,000 hours on a ball. I'd argue that, you know, most of these players are closer to 50, 60, 70,000, the ones that you're watching and have a lot of respect for. So get in the habit of just getting on a ball. Is, you know, that was one of the things that took me so long to realize in my career. I was like, oh, well, I'll just continue to be big, fast, and strong. And while that has been, I mean, that's become my niche, I didn't really step into my game until I was more comfortable on a ball, and I'm still getting more comfortable on a ball. So, so get on one a lot every single day, and then two, man, focus on there's you know a lot of people, a lot of players, a lot of young players, especially that I run into, guys that don't end up making it or whatever. All they're focused on is just the soccer. Like to be a professional athlete, you not only have to be focused on the ball work, but you have to be focused on your nutrition, your sleeping habits, your meditation habits, what you're feeding your mind every day, studying the game. If you want to be a professional, you have to act like that professional. And professionals are spending, you know, they're not only doing their 2 hours of soccer and they're done for the day. It's like, no, what am I eating? What am I studying? What am I, you know, what players am I watching? You know, how much sleep can I get tonight? You know, a lot of young players, especially, man, like the ones I coach are used to getting like 4 to 5 hours of sleep. And it's like, man, the human body needs eight to 10 hours of sleep, especially high level athletes, man. People like, you know, Cristiano and Messi and some of those guys are sleeping closer to 10 to 12 hours a day just because of how much they're taxing their body. So, so realize as a young player, you know, get on the ball way more, and then also focus on all the other elements, because it doesn't just stop at soccer. And then kind of along those lines realize that every single person you come in contact with, is either an opportunity for you or you're an opportunity for them. Guys alienate themselves, or they burn bridges, or whatever it is, man, and like they just destroy relationships, and that's literally what kept me in the league my first 4 or 5 years, because I knew, like, when one team folded, I knew somebody on another team. Because my first team folded, my second team folded, my third team folded. So it's like, when those teams fold, like, how are you going to go anywhere else unless you've established good relationships? If you're an asshole, guys don't want to play with assholes. So it's like these guys that are like, you know, don't think that they have to bring, you know, positive mentality to situations. It's like, no, man, like sometimes that's the only thing that's going to get you to your next opportunity, is having a good relationship with people and people thinking that you're a good, hardworking person. So focus on those things. And then, yeah, man, find something else that lights you up and that you can do on the side. You know, for me, it's been fitness, and that's grown into a really big platform for me. But other guys do, you know, other areas. I know a guy in Milwaukee that has used his platform to start remodeling houses, and now he's like a successful house remodeler in Milwaukee, in addition to being one of the best players in the league. And it's like, so just find something else that lights you up and use that to spend your time. I wasted a lot of time in my early years playing video games. So I know you love Call of Duty. I know you love FIFA, the young players out there, you know, but put a timer on it, man, because it'll impede. I've watched it impede myself, and I've watched it impede other players. So be smart about it. It's not people trying to ruin your fun. We're just, be smart about it. And then, yeah, and then as far as like business, so this applies to both business and soccer, is find the greats in the game and study them. Like right now, like not only my first few years in the league, not only did I watch the best defenders in the league, but I watched the best offensive players in the league, so I could see how they moved, how they thought, and how they operated. And now same in the business, right? I didn't even really get aggressive about launching my clothing line and my app until I had been studying 4 other major fitness brands for about a year. And I still, to this day, I spend about 20 to 30 minutes just a day going through and seeing what they're up to, what they've done, kind of things like that. And I've been able to take bits and pieces from each of these greats, and you know, form them into my own brand. So it's not about watching and emulating. It's about watching and seeing what it is that you can take and use, and what resonates with you and your people, and going from there. So study the greats on the field and off the field.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with those tips. They're so good. And like you said, you want to be a professional, start acting like one, doing what they do. It's not copying and stealing from them. Just learn from them. Maybe you see a few things they could do better, so then incorporate that and see what you can learn. And with YouTube, I started by watching other guys doing what I want to do and what I'm doing now, and seeing how they made their videos, what they talked about, what their habits were, what their schedule was like, and then sometimes just subconsciously just incorporating that. And then, oh, what would Matt Sheldon, Michael Cunningham, whatever, what would they be doing? Would they be rolling out right now and stretching, or would they be playing video games, just scrolling through TikTok, whatever? And think about that.
Right.
So
fucking TikTok, man, it's getting all of us.
Yeah, for real. It's it can be the best or the worst app for you. So, but
Right.
yeah, just with that, I just want to say thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Hopefully people watching this can learn something from this and just hear more about the lifestyle of a professional indoor soccer player, because it's something you don't hear or think about a whole lot necessarily. And there's so many opportunities and things to learn, and just learn from those players and hear about it. And so just thank you for your time. I'll be posting this on my Instagram in a few minutes, and also my YouTube channel a few weeks from now for other people to watch if you didn't see it live. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
No, man, I think we covered it all. And just, especially with, I'll just make just a positivity preach real quick, man. There's a lot of weird things going on in the world right now between COVID and all the racial tensions here in America and everything. And all of us, our generation is responsible for what's going to happen moving forward. But in the meantime, control what you can control in this situation and in every situation. And that's your focus, your effort, and your energy. So, I have a sports psychologist that says, pay the fee, so, control your focus, your energy, and your effort, and control your controllables, and, don't let everything else sway you right now. So, and if you guys need anything from me, hit me up. Dude, if I can help you out at all, or if I can help any of your followers that are watching, don't hesitate to shoot me a message. That's my biggest thing at this point in my career is I'm here to serve. I'm here to help young players develop and figure out how to get to the next level. So whatever I can do to help, let me know.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Best of luck to you with your future and your brands next season. And yeah, hopefully we can keep in touch. So just thank you again for your time. Thanks to everyone who watched, who is watching in the future, or the present when you watch this in the future, whatever. But thank you. Again, good luck to you. Hope you have a good one.
Appreciate you, brother. Man, I'll hit you up one of these days. Once we're all out of lockdown, we'll go knock a ball around. But until then, man, be safe, be well, and yeah, be blessed.
That sounds great, man. Appreciate it. Later.
All right, brother. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.